Alright, y'all, this is the last week 8 of how to invest with Raj, the Raj Way. And today I'm just going to do a little recap of everything that we've talked about, everything that we've done. First of all, this is a long-term investing strategy. This is for those who are trying to grow wealth, or at the very least maintain wealth throughout time, fighting against inflation. And with that said, we started off with limit orders in the beginning, and then we transitioned to fractional orders. And this goes more to the fact that, it's okay to change your strategy once in a while, especially when new pieces of information come in, and that applies to life as well. You want to be able to change your previous thoughts when a collection of data comes in that might go contrary to that. So again, long-term investing, we went from limit orders to fractional orders, because that's a new thing now, and you definitely want to take advantage of that more so than waiting for a strike price, a limit price that you put in for the strike price to actually obtain. Now, you've seen most of my portfolio. It consists of about 6 index funds and 5 high volatile stocks. And again, if you want to look into that, there's always it's in my description below, and you can always copy that, or you can modify it to your own personal risk adversity, depending on how well you are adjusted to risk and how much you're willing to take a loss or for the gains, because with risk comes reward. But for me, I like to again think long term, so I mitigate the high risk of high volatility by investing for the long term. Today I'm also going to show you a sneak peek of some other stocks that I'm looking at that I'll add to my portfolio as time progresses, as well as we'll talk about gold. Gold is a great way to mitigate the risk against inflation. As the dollar weakens, which it is currently weakening right now because the economy is all iffy, but as the dollar weakens, gold tends to go up. Over time, you will notice that the dollar has weakened throughout the concept of the dollar, and that is simply due to inflation. So there's no way that gold is not going to go more up and up and up. Obviously, it will have its dips and everything like that, but as we continue to print more money and we have these more stimulus and everything that's going on, gold is a great way to hold on to, just to maintain and secure some type of value. Now, if you can't really buy gold physically, I will provide a list of gold index funds and stocks that you can purchase that basically mirror this price of gold. Right now, gold is above $1,900, and that alone says enough about gold. Before, if you just look throughout the history of gold, it's just increased. Silver right now is actually higher than gold, but that's in itself. So again, I'm going to show you how I invest the last 500 that I've gotten. You're going to see where I put it into. Today is mostly going to be back into my index funds, and you'll see why. It's a little bit top heavy, so on the high volatile side, so obviously it's going to take away some of my returns, but I like index funds. Why? Because they give me a dividend, and the dividend is just a part of the profits that are distributed to the investors, which is anyone that's a shareholder. And what I do is I take those dividends and I reinvest back into more index funds that are going to pay me more. And that's how compound interest works. It's making money off of the money that you just made. Now, if you do this for a long time, it's going to take a snowball effect, and it's going to start off with a little bit of dividends. You keep reinvesting that, those dividends will grow. You keep reinvesting that, and those dividends will just get more and more and more, to the point where your dividends will be able to pay you as much as you're making, whether you're working or not working or whatever. So that's all we do, guys. That's all we do. Long-term investing. It's not for the people that are impatient. It's not for those people that are undisciplined. And there's nothing wrong with being undisciplined and impatient. If you're a day trader, or if you're like just so antsy about seeing a loss that you have to go and start letting your emotions dictate how you make a decision, that's up to you. For me, I understand that emotions tend to lead you in the wrong direction. You can take that as you please, but that relates to irrationality, and that's not something that you want to get into, especially if you're dealing with money. You need to separate emotions and money, and it needs to be straight business. And for some people that might be cold-hearted or whatever, but if you want to grow and take care of yourself, and if you want to grow your money in hopes of retiring or whatever your goals are, whether it's to save up for a car, save up for a house, anything that you're not using your money for in the immediate future, which is within 1 year, if you're not using that money within a year, you need to invest that. Why? Because you're gonna have a better chance to grow it versus just putting it in cash on your mattress, or putting it into your checking account, or saving it into your savings account, or even saving it into an online savings account. The returns the stock market will give you, even if you have no idea what the hell you're doing, is going to be much higher than that of just holding on or hoarding cash. So with that being said, I'm gonna show you how I did the last 500 that I got invested, and depending on what the government is talking about on how we're gonna continue with our stimulus checks and how that's gonna go on, we'll see how this series continues. But for now, this is the last episode. I recommend you please go back and check out the previous episodes in the series, just so you understand a little bit more about how I invest, what my strategy is, how my growth has been since the end last week of May. So it's literally been about 2 months. I've invested $8,000, and we're gonna just keep track of that over time. I might do a once a month update so you can see what my portfolio looks like, if I've added anything, and that's it. So here we go. All right, so here we have my portfolio. You can see that I added $500 more. I received a dividend of $5.40. That's why it's $505.40. For today, I'm actually going to invest back into my index funds because I realized I'm a little bit too top heavy on the volatile stocks. So just to add a little bit more security, we're gonna go and put in the $500 and $540 into our index funds. So we're gonna start with this one at VIG. We're gonna put in $100 right here. And again, these are all fractional shares. So, you know, don't worry about limit orders or anything like that. So we're gonna do that. Then we're gonna add another 100 into SDY. Again, this is a reflection of the S&P 500. So I'm gonna do another $100 into this index fund, and that order should be received. I hit done right there. And next we're gonna get to DTD, but for this one I'm actually gonna put in 150 because this index fund pays you monthly, so I want to increase those dividends. So I'm gonna put 150 into that one. And we're gonna continue on to DVY. I'm gonna put $100 into here as well. Again, all these are fractional share purchases, so keep that in mind as you continue investing. We don't want to do too much limit orders anymore because we don't know when it will strike and everything like that. So just to be more efficient, let's just focus on the fractional share purchases. Next, we got IDV. I got about $50 left, so I'm going to get $25 worth of this one. Put in $25 right there. And the remaining, I'm actually going to put all of that into my CVY index fund, which should be coming up right now. I'm going to put in the remaining, $30.40. So I'm going to go ahead and put that into there. And again, I use up all of my funds basically because I like to make sure all the money that I have available is being used to work. So you can see that I have $0 left. And this is the portfolio again. And I'm going to show you a little bit something extra that I have here. I created these extra lists. The OG is obviously the main portfolio. But I created another source of index funds list, a gold list, and potential stocks that I'm also looking at. For the index fund, here's a sneak peek of what I'm looking at and what I will be investing into the future. These are index funds that I previously invested into back when I had Ali Invest. I was using that as a second brokerage account. Some of these are American stocks, some of them are abroad index funds. And then in gold, I'm looking into gold because it's a good way to mitigate the risk against inflation. As you know, the dollar weakens, gold increases, and you already know inflation is every year, so this is just going to grow over the years. I'll get into more of the gold stocks later on if you want to invest into gold if you can't physically. And here are some of the
stocks and individual picks that I'm looking at. You can go ahead and pause the video if you like to, slow motion and go through what I'm currently doing and everything like that. But here's a little list of what I'm gonna get into more, as I wanted to add more risk to my portfolio. Some of these companies you might know, some of them you probably won't know. Again, pause it right here if you want to, so you can just look at it by yourself. And that's a little tidbit for y'all. If anyone's interested in investing, these are some companies that I personally believe will have long-term effects in the future. And they're a little bit more safe growth. Long-term, if you're trying to day trade, then that's up to you. I don't do that. I'm a long-term guy. So far, we can see that the 8,000 that I've invested since the end of May is increased by about 4.24%. Again, this is better than an online savings account. This is better than investing or saving money into your savings account. This is better than leaving it in your checking account. And this is way better than just leaving cash under your mattress or just hoarding onto cash.
Thank you guys if you made it this far. Again, if you like what you've seen, leave a like or comment or whatever. This is also on YouTube if you want to go check it out on YouTube, so you don't have to watch it on Instagram or whatever else. And I appreciate you guys for your support. I hope you learned something. If you feel like you need to share this with somebody else, go ahead, feel free to do that. And thank you for your time. We'll see you.